Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. On se retrouve aujourd'hui pour un petit let's play, je pense, qui sera pas très long, basé sur un jeu que je voulais faire depuis un petit moment. Oui, mon casque avec le son. Là. Comme ça, je pourrais suivre l'aventure avec vous cette fois, parce que je me suis pris... Enfin, j'ai retrouvé un casque que je pouvais brancher à ma télé. Oula. Le jeu, du coup, vous le voyez à votre écran, c'est What Remains of Edith Finch. Un jeu que je voulais faire depuis sa sortie, mais que je n'avais pas pu me prendre. Pour des raisons évidentes de pas d'argent. Oh, choix. Ah, ok. Faut que j'appuie sur R2. Non, je vais peut-être augmenter le son.
I'm just gonna start at the beginning with the house.
Voilà. Alors on peut zoomer. On peut pas courir, on peut pas sauter. Et là on a un arbre généalogique que je ne vais pas regarder.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Une maison assez bizarre de ce que je vois. Ah oui, vraiment bizarre pour le coup, oui.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Bizarre. Avec plein de journaux d'ailleurs. Enfin, au
I
moins
hadn't been
3.
back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Un jeu qui
In a will,
est plus
my mother left
scénarisé
me a
que
key,
qu'autre
but
chose.
didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Les Finch. Il y a un chemin qui va là et un chemin là. On va suivre ce chemin. Une maison vraiment particulière.
But I saw a few hoof prints.
Je vais essayer de pas trop parler pour que vous puissiez suivre l'histoire en même temps. Chaud. Il est vraiment joli ce jeu. Je vais juste regarder. D'accord, je peux pas changer les graphiques. Ah, elle est née la même année que moi, Edith. Du coup, elle a 23 ans. Ou 24, ça dépend. Non, 23.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Bizarre la maison. Mais très classe. On dirait le neighbor.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Je vais faire demi-tour. Parce que je voudrais savoir où c'est que mène l'autre chemin en fait. Ah, il doit me faire arriver là. Ok, je vais quand même le faire. Voir s'il n'y a pas un truc à récupérer. disparu. Donc il y aurait un des
The
frères
woods
ou...
around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something but never do.
Ah bah, j'ai bien fait. J'ai bien fait de venir par là. Il y avait un truc rose ou j'ai rêvé? Non, je dirais... Encore une affiche. Encore une feuille. Milton Finch. Ah ouais. Il y a un mur invisible. D'accord, donc je reviens ici, ok. Bon. Ah. J'ai l'impression que notre personnage n'est pas toute seule. J'ai l'impression qu'elle est enceinte. Et où sa deuxième main? Attends, c'est sa poche ça? Ouais, il y a sa poche. Et où sa deuxième main? Enfin son deuxième bras plutôt pour le coup, parce que là à gauche on voit son bras, mais à droite on ne le voit pas. Peut-être qu'elle est dans sa poche pour tenir le ventre. Je vais essayer de faire attention à ne rien rater. Ça serait dommage. Donc vous avez vu, hein, c'est vraiment scénarisé, c'est de l'exploration et du scénar. Un
Now,
style de jeu que j'ai
as a
jamais vraiment fait, mais j'aime bien.
17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Elle est enceinte à 17 ans. Ah ouais. Chaud. Attends, 17 ans, du coup c'était en 2016. Une rampe pour un fauteuil roulant. Des angles. C'est quoi? C'est de la terre? Ouais. C'est du terreau. Enfin, je sais pas comment ils appellent ça. Mais...
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Ah.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Genre la maison aurait une conscience? Putain, il y a un arbre là, mon dieu. Ah, je peux pas y accéder, dommage. Ah, attends, il y a un truc en bas. Je vais peut-être aller... Désolé, hein, c'est vraiment, je vais explorer tout le long. Je veux vraiment rien rater. Il y a vraiment plein d'affiches d'enfants disparus. Enfin de... C'est quoi, c'est Milton, c'est ça? Ouais. Il y a plein d'affiches sur la disparition de Milton, mais... Bon, je pense qu'on aura plusieurs... Enfin, on aura des réponses pendant le gameplay. Ah bah j'ai bien fait, tu vois. Une espèce de tête de dragon. Je peux pas aller plus loin? Non.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
Effectivement, c'est assez bizarre. Je peux pas aller plus loin. Bon. On va retourner à la maison. Cette fois, je pense qu'on a fait tout le tour. De toute façon, je peux pas aller plus, je peux pas faire plus. Je pense que je vais tout tourner d'une traite et je ferai des coupures. Non, ce sera plus simple. Donc du coup, on avait une porte ici.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Là-bas, il y a une statuette. Là-bas, il y a un truc dans l'eau. Ah bon?
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Des sauvegardes auto, d'accord.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
On avait coupé le courant le soir de notre départ. Ok. C'est joli. Alors, je sais que le jeu il date, hein, que du coup les graphismes sont moins impressionnants que pour les jeux récents, mais je le trouve vraiment très beau, très coloré.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Edith, Eddie, Lewis, Down. Down, ça doit être notre mère. Edith, c'est nous. Eddie, c'est la grand-mère. Lewis, ça doit être notre grand frère. Ah merde! Ah bah... il est... Rest in peace. En mémoire de Lewis Finch, né le 27 décembre 88, mort le 21 novembre 2010. Frère bien-aimé d'Edith, fils de Down, et le plus grand des petits-enfants, enfin des petits-fils d'Eddie. Finch Family Cemetery. Oh.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
C'est bon la restauration chinoise.
Oh, or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Ah ouais, il ramenait ça tous les jours. Ah ouais, chaud. Putain, ça doit être un grand cru le machin. Ah oui, d'accord. Ah ouais. Putain, t'aimes pas le saumon? Ou là, attends, c'était quoi? C'était du saumon? Ou du thon? Je sais plus. T'aimes pas le poisson? Bah tiens, mange du poisson. Terrifiant.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Oh merde. Ah, c'était la grand-mère qui était en fauteuil roulant. D'accord. C'est quoi? C'est de l'oxygène? Ouais, c'est de l'oxygène.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Ah, c'était l'arrière-grand-mère. Donc c'est l'arrière-petit-fils. Désolé pour ma traduction anglaise, hein, c'est vraiment...
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Ça, le jeu il s'assombrit d'un coup. Oh l'écran plat. Pouf. Oh j'adore la table comme ça. Ah, sauf qu'il y a des bouquins qui aident à la maintenir. Dommage.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Ah, la maison d'origine. La maison d'origine. D'accord. C'est quoi ça? Ah, ok. Putain, il y en a du bouquin. Terrifiant. S'il y en a qui peuvent me dire si les bouquins ils existent vraiment, en vrai, ça pourrait être sympa à savoir. Ah, je ne pense pas, vu qu'il y a plein de bouquins qui ont exactement le même titre. Donc, oh, c'est joli ça aussi. Oula, ouais, ok.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Mais elle avait combien de frangins?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
C'est pas du polystyrène, ça c'est des knackis les frérots. C'est quoi? Pourquoi cette porte elle est comme ça?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Charmant comme toi. Ils ont scellé cette zone. Oula, 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 oula! Il y a toujours plus les bouquins. Ouais.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms.
Ah,
Then Edie
scellé
retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Laisse-moi explorer s'il te plaît.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Une petite célébrité.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Ok, pour l'instant, donc je ne peux pas y accéder pour le moment. Ah oui, effectivement, toutes les portes sont scellées. 44, 60.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Ah, attends. 44 à 60. Elle avait 16 ans. Elle avait 16 ans quand elle est morte. Putain.
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
Il s'appelait Odin. Ah, je veux pas être méchant, mais le nom, mon ref, t'étais pas gâté par la nature. Hein. Ok, j'ai fini dans ce coin. Pour l'instant, en tout cas. Wow.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
C'est trop beau.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh!
Turns out,
20
my
milieux
mom
sous
was
les
really
mers.
good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
J'aurais peut-être pas dû aller là avant. Non, je... Ah, bien. Ça s'est refermé? Ah, je peux juste pas repasser. D'accord, bon, tant pis.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. but I had no idea what was behind that door.
Oh.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Ah, je crois que je pouvais... J'aurais dû aller dans l'autre sens. Merde. Est-ce que je peux... Ah, merde. Tant pis.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Je crois que c'est cette chambre-là où je devais rentrer. Enfin, essayer de rentrer, du moins.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Une méduse. Une Ah, attends. Qu'est-ce qu'on a là-bas? Ah, je vais peut-être même faire ça en une traite. Enfin, en un seul épisode, je sais pas. Un canard. Un chat, un lapin, une chouette. Ok.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here. Before my mom sealed the doors.
Ah, elle, encore pire. 37-47. Elle est morte à 10 ans. Terrifiant. Donc la gamine, c'était une passionnée des animaux. Et probablement de la nature en général.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Oula, oula. Qu'est-ce qu'elle va se mettre à bouffer, la gamine?
My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Ah ouais, la gamine a été dérangée.
I kept eating and eating.
Du dentifrice. Ah, ouais, bah... Du hou. Enfin, le hou, la hou.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Ça? Bon, juste du poison. Si j'ai pas de conneries.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Ah ouais, la gamine a été vraiment dérangée.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. jumped and I almost got her. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Je confirme, elle était dérangée la gosse. Hein.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark. I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
C'est dérangeant un peu.
I grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Oh, mon pire cauchemar, ça. Un truc qui sort des chiottes.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Ah ouais, elle était vraiment flinguée, la gosse. Ah, dès qu'elle a mangé les baies de houx.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Oh, un chat.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Bon, il y a ces deux bras.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Construit 1937, Sven Finch.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed.
Oui.
She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Gratuit, ça. La momote.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace. Her room was like a museum.
Odin, 1880-1937,
For
je crois.
500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Putain.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
Attends, la fille d'Odin, Eddie, avec son mari Sven et leur bébé Molly, débarque sur une nouvelle terre, Orcas Island. D'accord.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Ah, c'est tout?
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
C'est quoi cette baraque? Ouais, désolé, je parle pas des masses, mais je veux vraiment suivre l'histoire parce que j'ai peur de rater quelque chose. J'ai déjà
Sven
l'impression
gave
d'avoir acheté
Sam
un
an old
truc.
camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Milton, encore. Ah, des jumeaux.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Ah, super, il y en a un qui est mort quand il était gosse et l'autre il est mort en étant militaire. Super.
And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Non. Ça pue. Hein.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Oh, c'est...
Sam! Calvin!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Alvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
Oh,
then
la
maybe
vache.
he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
Oh,
I
bah.
think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Alors, il y en a une qui s'est tuée en s'empoisonnant, et il y en a un qui s'est tué en faisant le tour de la roue.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Mes frères. C'est quoi cette baraque?
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Ah cool, je suis revenu là. Let's go.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
7 ans. Grégory, putain il avait un an.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Rassurant de ouf. Et tiens Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Vraiment joyeux cette famille. Terrifiant.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Des lettres de fans, des Oscars, une poupée à son effigie, le film, une boîte, l'affiche.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found
Pas ouf la
Rick's
musique.
couch and imagined the worst.
Pas ouf du tout la musique là.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Ollie's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Et puis elle va ouvrir la porte, elle. Elle est intelligente.
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter,
Jolie faute d'orthographe.
hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Je suis pas sûr d'avoir compris cette histoire-là. t'oses rien me dire que je l'ai pas compris du tout.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Si vous avez compris l'histoire de Barbara, à part peut-être le fait que du coup ce serait effectivement le mec au crochet avec sa bande qui l'aurait tué, laissant derrière eux qu'une oreille. Je vous avoue que je suis un peu...
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere.
Pardon.
Whatever killed Barbara. And Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one more day. I can already imagine the sun on my
Il s'est pris un train dans la gueule.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made, trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Donc là, du coup, là-bas, ce serait la maison principale. Enfin, ce serait la maison originelle.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
C'est vrai que c'est un peu spécial quand même. La maison est... Enfin, l'histoire de leur famille, quoi, est quand même assez spéciale. Hein. Non, là. 3-6.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Je te jure.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Zoé, Coco, Tucker, Charlie, Daisy, Lucie, Derpy Junior, Derpy, Burpy, Chirpy, Furpy, Lurpy, Zurpy. C'est vrai, ils sont pas trop cachés. Bailey, Shadzi, Bob, Shadow, Oliver, Christopher.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly Finch. Ah ouais, elle est morte 2 jours après ses 10 ans. Ah ouais. Calvin Finch. Mort à 11 ans. Sven Finch. Mort à... Si j'ai pas de conneries, 39. 49, pardon. Edith Finch. Ah, vous voyez, ça devait être Edith aussi. Du coup. Si j'ai bien compris. Ok. Walter. Oh, c'est joli. Barbara, mort à 16 ans.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Alors. Grégory, mort à 1 an. Sam Finch, 33. Gus. Putain la vache. Pour la plupart, ils sont morts plus ou moins jeunes, quoi. Milton. Bah lui on sait pas. On sait juste qu'il a disparu. Sanjay Kumar.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Et Lewis. Avec une couronne, d'accord.
things I wish I could ask my mom now.
J'ai l'impression que j'ai
Part of me
raté.
thinks this is what she wanted all along.
J'ai l'impression
For
que
me
j'ai
to
raté
come
des
back
histoires.
someday and find everything out for myself.
Elle est triste leur histoire, hein, sérieux?
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Je m'en doutais. 22 semaines, ok.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Il avait une fille. Je suis sûr que j'ai raté une histoire. Va falloir que j'essaie de retourner dans la salle de bain.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Ah!
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Bling.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
On dirait merci d'Overwatch.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
Le
Ok,
parc national
got
est
it.
un Finch.
I'm gonna
Ils
take
avaient un
some
parc à
pictures,
leur nom,
okay?
carrément.
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are. Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Nothing quite like being outside. Hey!
That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
C'est
You
son
know
père.
who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. Let's see. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo. Maybe.
Je suis censé photographier quoi?
What was it? Could have been.
Le problème c'est que je vois rien de spécial quoi. Ça je l'ai déjà pris en photo. Ah ça.
Good eyes, Don.
Non, bon. La musique est très jolie. Par contre, je vous avoue que là, je suis un peu perdu. Qu'est-ce que je dois photographier? Ah!
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Il est mort connement un peu. Je tiens à le dire.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Il m'en manque 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Il m'en manque 7. 8. À moins que les feuilles ne comptent pas. Je voudrais essayer de retourner dans la salle de bain, si possible.
After Sam died, My mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Et Edith se sont devenus proches. Ah non, c'est peut-être là. Je sais pas, je sais pas. Je pense que ça doit avoir raté un truc dans la salle de bain. Contrat de divorce.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Oh.
It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Je trouve ça un peu malsain par rapport à un truc qui s'est passé chez nous en France il y a quelques années. Je vais rien dire.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. Father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Wow.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
Donc là, je regarderai après sur internet. Enfin, je vais regarder après sur internet quand j'aurai fini pour voir concrètement l'histoire de chaque perso. Parce que là, je vous avoue que certains, ça me laisse un peu perplexe.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time,
il y en a un qui avait un an, l'autre il était encore gosse.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
C'était rapide.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
T'es en train de me dire que c'est comme ça qu'il a disparu?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Hein? Attends. Ah oui, j'ai lu marqué 2016, je commence à avoir peur là.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
La famille de ouf, toi.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Ce soir, elle l'a foutu, elle l'a enfermé vivant dans un bail chelou, la daronne.
Mom
Là, normalement, on en est au dernier, du coup. Ah non, il nous en manque 2.
definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
Je regarde juste ça. Je suppose que je regardais toutes les portes. Ça veut dire? Ok. Ah. D'accord, bizarre. Il y en a un que j'aurais pu... Enfin, que je pensais avoir. Ah non, parce que j'en ai fait un dans le vide. Moi, je pense que je peux le refaire. Ah, il y a moyen que je le refasse, je pense. Comme ça, je l'aurai platine. Et le billard, par contre, je vois pas où il était. Il était où, le billard?
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. that part of him lived on.
On se demandera pas hein, ce que c'était. Oh, un geek.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot. He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Ah ouais, c'était un geek. Ça existe encore des claviers comme ça? Je crois que j'arrive à en trouver un, tiens. Avec d'autres touches sur les côtés. Ça serait plus simple pour certains jeux.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then, daydreaming at the cannery.
Ah ouais, violent sa phase.
I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
C'est un peu farfelant quoi. Bon, je pense que c'est vraiment à cause du fait que il était toxico.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her silver harp.
Ah ouais, c'était violent le truc là pour le coup.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
Tu m'étonnes.
And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Ah.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
En se rendant dans son palais, il s'est tranché la tête.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on rising. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Il a foutu sa tête dans la machine à découper.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Et ça, c'est notre chambre.
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Sanjay Kumar, ça c'est le père, je crois.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe I should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning. Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your story. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
L'histoire des Finch par Edith Finch.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went.
Donc là, on ne joue pas Edith.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it
Pardon,
smelled
chaque fois je me trompe avec les boutons.
No, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Il suffit de continuer tout droit.
I got turned around.
Quoi?
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Elle est morte le lendemain.
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. the last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Elle est morte à l'accouchement. Elle est morte à l'accouchement, pardon.
I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Elle est morte à la naissance du gamin. La vache. Je vais laisser le générique passer. C'est... L'histoire est prenante, très triste. Il y a certaines histoires que j'ai pas compris, il y en a certaines bon, qui sont très explicites. C'est comment dire? C'est un jeu qui, à l'époque, me tentait beaucoup, au moment de sa sortie. J'ai jamais... Enfin, j'ai dû regarder une fois le gameplay il y a longtemps. Bah, au moment de sa sortie, je crois, il y avait un youtubeur qui l'avait fait en entier. Ou un streamer, je sais plus. Mais ouais. L'histoire est prenante, c'est assez triste ce jeu. On sait du coup que Edith, le personnage qu'on jouait de tout le long du jeu, est morte du coup à la naissance du petit. Enfin de son enfant. Son arrière-grand-mère est morte le lendemain de leur départ. Peut-être même le jour même. Franchement, toutes les personnes qui ont travaillé sur ce jeu, un grand bravo à eux. J'espère qu'on les reverra pour d'autres jeux, parce que franchement, leur jeu, leur histoire est incroyable. Il y en a qui étaient mignons quand ils étaient gosses en plus. Celle qui m'a le plus marqué, je dirais que c'est celle du Grégory. Parce que on a eu une histoire... avec un Grégory en France. Et disons que ça m'a un peu fait penser à ça, même si je pense que ça n'a aucun rapport. Je pense que c'est juste du pur hasard. Je vais en profiter du coup pour regarder... voir les morts des personnages pour être sûr de voir si j'ai bien compris le jeu. Alors, est-ce qu'on va avoir la mort de chaque personnage? La mort de Lewis. Cette séquence longue d'une quinzaine de minutes compte de l'avis des critiques parmi les plus mémorables du jeu grâce à la finesse. La section à l'usine de conserve avait initialement été conçue comme une simulation complexe de découpage de poissons qui aurait notamment nécessité de vider des tonneaux, en plus de s'occuper de la coupe des poissons et dans laquelle le chef de l'usine s'en serait pris au protagoniste. Hein? Attends. T'es en train de me dire que le chef de Lewis l'a tué? Par préoccupation de rendre le tout suffisamment intéressant, les développeurs finissent par simplifier la portion concernant le travail de l'usine pour éviter d'alourdir inutilement le jumelage du travail de la rêverie. C'est vrai que l'option rejouer une histoire est maintenant disponible. Sélectionnez Edith pour jouer dès le début. Ah, il y en a une qu'il faut que je fasse. Il y en a deux qu'il faut que je fasse. Il y a celle de Calvin et celle de Molly que je dois refaire. Du coup, je vais les refaire. Je vais refaire celle de Molly. Comme ça, je peux avoir peut-être le truc.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Je savais que j'avais raté un truc.
Tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Alors du coup, je regarde ça en même temps, hein, je suis désolé. Du coup, apparemment Lewis se serait fait tuer par son patron. Si j'ai bien compris, enfin, je pense que j'ai mal compris ça, mais... Ah, attends, peut-être là. Là, j'aurais peut-être vraiment l'explication des morts de chaque perso. En 2010, son arrière-petit-fils Lewis est décédé après... Alors ça, c'est pour la grand-mère. L'arrière-grand-mère. En 2010, après... Son arrière-petit-fils Lewis est décédé après que sa tête a été tranchée à son travail à la conserverie. Voilà, donc il s'est bien tranché la tête. Amanda Lewis était la dernière mort vécue par Eddie. Dawn a annoncé son intention de déménager immédiatement avec sa fille Edith. Eddie est mort cette nuit-là. Ah! Elle est morte la nuit de leur départ. Ok. Ok, donc pour elle, du coup, elle est morte toute seule. Kay Finch. On ne sait pas. On ne sait pas quand est-ce qu'elle est morte. Gus. Lui, il est mort comment? Gus avait la peau claire, les yeux bleus et un mao... Non, ça je m'en fous. Gus est mort après avoir été touché par une tente volante lors du mariage de son père et de sa belle-mère. D'accord, moi je pensais qu'il avait été empalé. Ok, donc lui il s'est pris du coup la tente dans la tronche. Le petit Gus... le petit... Grégory est mort, il s'est noyé. Downfish, la mère, elle est morte de maladie. Sanjay, une coupure de presse trouvée près des possessions de Dawn suggère que Sanjay est décédé lorsqu'un tremblement de terre a frappé le site d'une des opérations de secours. Sa pierre tombale déclare que son décès est survenu 8 jours après le 3e anniversaire de sa fille Edith, et un an avant la disparition de son fils Milton. Ah yes, super. Donc lui il est mort à cause d'un tremblement de terre. Ok. Lewis, tête tranchée. Il s'est suicidé. Donc l'histoire de c'est son patron, non, c'est j'ai mal compris. Autant pour moi, je suis désolé. Milton. On ne sait rien de lui au final. Milton a disparu pour des raisons inconnues en 2003, à l'âge de 11 ans. Ah! À falloir que je joue à un autre jeu. Parce que de ce que je viens de lire, bien que la mort de Milton soit l'un des récits les plus ambigus de ce qui reste d'Edith Finch, l'un des développeurs de Giant Sparrow a mis en lumière son lien avec The Unfinished Swan. Donc on pourrait peut-être avoir des infos sur Milton dans The Unfinished Swan. Ça tombe bien, il me semble que je l'ai. Edith Finch, bah elle est morte à l'accouchement. Monroe. C'est qui celui-là? Y a pas de Monroe. Ah, c'est le personnage principal de The Unfinished Swan. Voilà, bon bah faut pas que je me spoil. Bon d'accord, ok. Donc voilà, maintenant vous avez les infos sur la mort de tous les personnages. Je vais juste refaire vite fait du coup ce que je disais, les... Bah la petite Molly, elle est morte d'empoisonnement. Elle s'est empoisonnée avec les baies de houx. C'est sûr. Pour moi, c'est sûr que c'est ça. Elle va jusqu'à manger du dentifrice quand même. Par contre, c'est tous des requins ou ça se passe comment? Hop, ça je le refais vite.
Tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up.
Voilà.
And suddenly, I was an owl.
Voilà, donc là, faut pas que je me fasse avoir.
Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
J'ai raté. Je peux recommencer ou pas? Ah désolé, hein, je le refais parce que je veux essayer de faire le platine. Moi, je sais même pas si je peux le platine, le jeu. Je pense que je ferai une coupure, au cas où. De toute façon, vous avez eu toute l'histoire du jeu. Plus ces infos qui nous manquaient.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Elle est où sa gerbille?
I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Toi, je te tiens.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Ah, ça tombe bien parce que j'ai un autre truc à faire avec elle en plus.
A mama rabbit.
Yes. Ok, ça compte. Je pensais qu'il allait falloir que je recommence le jeu, mais non, ça va. Il me permet de faire les trucs comme il faut.
And suddenly, I was a shark.
Oh. Alors attendez, je vais juste revérifier au niveau des trophées. Oh, ma manette. Je vais juste revérifier ce qu'il faut comme attraper de lapins, ça c'est bon. Laisser le marin ivre terminer sa chanson, empocher tous les billets à la table de billard. C'est avec qui ça? Et refaites l'histoire de Calvin. Ok. Ok, bah ça va, les trucs sont pas compliqués. Hop.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't. Putain, elle est longue sa chanson. C'est pas une vraie chanson ça en plus. Last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Le pire cauchemar ça.
I got closer and closer.
C'était quoi? C'était pas un anaconda où il y avait eu ça, des serpents qui sortaient des chiottes? Ou alors dans un autre film d'horreur. Enfin, pas d'horreur, mais un truc avec des serpents ou piranha, je sais plus ce que c'était. Complètement taré ce gosse. Alors, le billard.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Peut-être Barbara. Alors déjà, on va refaire celui de Calvin. C'est rare que je veuille platine un jeu comme ça, tiens. D'habitude, je m'en fous un peu.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Oula. Non, cette fois pas que je me fasse avoir parce qu'en fait, tout à l'heure, quand je galérais, c'est parce que j'utilisais qu'un seul joystick, il faut utiliser les deux.
The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he
D'ailleurs,
wasn't.
pourquoi refaire son histoire à lui?
I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that. Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Je peux pas le faire à l'envers, ok, je suis obligé de le faire dans ce sens.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Attends, c'était ça, c'était l'histoire de Calvin.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Ah bah il vient de me le donner. Maintenant le coup du billard. Le seul moment où je vois une table de billard, c'est avec Barbara. Je crois.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
here with another ghastly tale.
C'est chiant de pas pouvoir passer ça.
America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it the surprise ending of Barbara Finch.
Il me semble... Ouais, il me semble... Ouais, voilà. Il me semble l'avoir vu.
Was famous for her school. Now at 16, she was all washed up. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror.
Pourquoi il porte des lunettes d'ailleurs?
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right. Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes
There was
later,
but a shit but to see the name of the ship was about you.
so Barbara went to look for him.
My eyes blow.
She reached for the music box. And when she found the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Rick? Are you okay?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Faut que je fasse ça en fait? Faut que je dégage tout ce qu'il y a sur le billard? Ah ouais. Bah voilà.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
Tiens, dégage.
But she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Pa 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 pa. Même pas peur. Pa 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 pa. Pa 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 la pa pa la pa la pa 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 pa. Pam 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 pam
Orcas
pam
Island
pam.
police described the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand.
Non, on l'a pas eu la mort de Barbara.
Barbara turned, saw the hookman, and was speechless.
Viens ici.
Quite smashing.
Oui.
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Tiens. Chais.
But she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was at the door. She heard his
Comment j'ai speedrun la fin, toi? Alors du coup, faut que je regarde.
from inside the house. The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara
Alors,
was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
ouais, donc par principe, on peut dire que ouais, elle a été tuée, mais par qui? Par Rick, possiblement.
Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Mais enfin. Du coup, là, normalement, j'ai fini le jeu. Entièrement. Ah non. Attends. Ah si. Ah, il y a pas de platine. C'est honteux. Bon, bah, j'ai fini le jeu à 100%. J'espère que ce petit let's play de 2, 3, peut-être 4 épisodes vous aura plu. C'est le cas, n'hésitez pas à me le faire savoir comme d'habitude. On se retrouve bientôt pour soit la suite de l'aventure dimensionnelle, soit par la suite de Zelda Breath of the Wild ou de l'autre Zelda. C'est parce que je pense que j'aurais pas sorti l'autre Zelda avant. Ou d'autres vidéos ou d'autres let's play. Je vous souhaite une bonne journée ou une bonne fin de journée sur laquelle vous regarderez cette vidéo. Et quant à moi, je vous dis à bientôt pour de prochaines aventures. Bye!